This fantastic. Fantastic. Hi, everybody. Welcome to MVP Office Hours. We're so glad you're joining us. Um, wow. January 17th. Did everyone recover from the new year? I gotta close my office door real quick. So January 17th, MVP Office Hours. We usually meet on the first and the third Friday of every month, except for this month because we took the day off. Um, you can find Squire and I on LinkedIn, and you can. I mean, MVP Office Hours still exists on X, but we're not really active there. And MVP Office Hours at gmail.com works, but the best place to reach out to us is in the Trailblazer community. Squire, do we have that link to throw into the chat real quick?
I'll do it while you're talking.
Thank you. And then let's see, moving on to the next one. But if you want to check in with Squire and I, LinkedIn is the best place to do that. And then we're both pretty big about like popping out all of the information there. We do invite everyone to share their experiences and insights and recommendations with the group. Post your links and resources and answers in the chat, because sometimes we have folks that just talk forever, which is great, but it's hard to get a word in edgewise. And if you've got an answer, like, man, slap it in the chat. If you have questions, please post it in the chat and or raise your hand. Like, give us a quick like blurb or a subject topic and a question mark and like, I have a question. We would love for you to share your screen with us. However, we want everyone to be safe with their data, safe with their customers' data, safe with their company's data. Do not share any private or proprietary information. Sandboxes are great. Trailhead playgrounds are better. We want to have fun and be informal, but let's keep it professional and positive. Remember, we are recording the session and it's getting posted to YouTube for everyone to enjoy for future. For the future. And then the last thing, this was a twist that came in on us in the last quarter, I think, right, Squire? Yeah. We are all learning to love AI, but under no circumstances can any of this content be transcribed or recorded by an AI tool. So if this is part of your plan, please turn this off right now. We don't want to put you on the naughty list. And then the registration link will be back working, and we're back on February 7th. And then if you learn anything awesome, or if you take screenshots of what we're doing here, because, man, I'm looking cute today. I'm kidding. You use our hashtags problem solved together, community learner, MVPOH. And with that, we have community events. There's a link right at the feature groups and community group meetings and all that good stuff. But up and coming Japan Dreaming is that next week already? Wow. Yeah. Architect Dreamin' Cactus Force is a paired event with Architect Dreamin' and Cactus Force together in Scottsdale. I'm very, very wishing I was going, but I'm not. Philippines Dreamin', Cairo Dreamin', and then the banner event of TDX in San Francisco on March 5th. The Education Summit is happening in Chicago on March 10th, and then the Tableau Conference in San Diego, March 15th. Now, thank you, Michael. There are a number of community Dreamin' events where sessions are like speaker submissions are open. So get those out. I believe Tahoe Dreamin' is still open. Mid-Atlantic Dreamin' has 10 more days. DevOps Dreamin' just opened up. Buckeye Dreamin's open. If you're interested in presenting something, I would highly encourage you to put the pressure on yourself and submit your topic, and get out there and talk about it. And if you want to talk about a session or some ideas that you have, this is a great place to talk about too. Did I miss anything, Squire?
I realized I didn't add it. MVP nominations opened last week, right?
Ooh, yes. We'll get the link popped in there too, and in the chat also. So if you have a Salesforce community hero that you would like to see acknowledged for all the fantastic work they do in the community, please nominate them. While Squire and I are in the MVP Hall of Fame. Squire, you're in the Hall of Fame now, right? We're together. Yeah.
I don't know how I got in, but I am.
We cannot be nominated anymore. We're already there. But we do super duper encourage you to nominate folks that are in your world, that have helped you, that have contributed, that have powered your success in the community. And you know what? If you've powered your own success, you can nominate yourself. with that being said, I think we covered all of the stuff that's coming up, right?
I think so, yep.
Okay. So moving on. Does anyone have any questions? Do we have any questions in the chat?
Stu saved up a whole quarter's worth for us, so we can start there.
Stu, we missed you. What do you have for us? 4 questions?
Yeah,
Can you start with 1?
yeah, I was actually hoping that other people would have questions because mine are, well, I'm greedy, so I want all the information for myself. Yeah, I'll start out with 1 just to get us rolling, and then hopefully other people will have more questions. Here it is. I want to build a report that will show me all reports that have the field industry on the account industry
Reports report with the field industry.
that have been run in the last 6 months. And I'll preface this by, this is tricky because those live in 2 different places. One's in the tooling API and one's in the metadata API. However, there's got to be a way that one of you smart people have done this, of creating a report that includes the API name of the report and specific fields in the report that have been run in the last year, 6 months, whatever. Out of the box, it's not possible. But there's
So
got to be a
there's-
way. There's got to be a
there's-
way.
Have you done the field report? I mean, have you successfully run a report with the fields, like filtered with this?
I can successfully run a report that shows what has been run over the last 6 months.
Yep.
I can also successfully go to the where is it used in the object field and
Mhm.
and download that and put it into my Excel spreadsheet. Here's my problem. The report gives you the report label and description. The where is it used gives you the API name. Those do not always match. So I can't really use that as my effective means of finding out which ones are which. There's got to be another way.
Have you tried in Sockwell at all? It feels like you probably have to join those 2 tables.
Well, is there a table that actually has the fields of a report? It's metadata, not a table, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There is, it's in here somewhere.
Although I suppose if you had the report IDs from the reports it lives in, you could do like an in clause.
That's what we've done. We
Oh.
extracted all the report IDs that had a field doing a metadata scan, and then applied that to the report last run export using the report IDs. That's how we did.
So then
It's-
there's a third query that I need to do. The third query is, I have all these API names. Give me the labels and descriptions for these. Then possibly I can match up all 3 of these queries.
Think so.
Interesting.
Unless, can you? I feel like I'm gonna say something that doesn't exist. But I feel like we had a metadata parser that turned metadata into records that you could then take the columns out of. Like it turned that XML into columns. So you could take the report section of your metadata, parse it down to the columns of the reports that have that field, and now you're doing Excel to Excel. I'm gonna have to try to remember where we've used that.
Stuart.
Yeah, you're gonna go to a more interesting topic, I'm sure.
No. I was asking, what's the use case on this? Like, what are you working on?
So the use case is that we've got a product team that wants to, we've got a field called, what's it called? Blah, blah, without giving the reaction.
XYZ, sure.
XYZ. And the product team realizes that with a new implementation that's going on, a new package that's being included, we're not using XYZ anymore. We're using NMQ. And so they want to see, what are all the reports before we delete XYZ and use NMQ? What are all the reports? What are all the places that it's been used? And so by that, where is it used? I can get the list of the 2,000 reports. But then the next question is, how many of the reports have actually been run?
Hmm.
And
Do you have the
those two
folder
don't,
location of of where is it used? Does it tell you where the folder is?
no,
No. Hmm.
no.
Can I, well, so first of all, can I ask a quick question? Stuart, when you laid this out, you mentioned the account industry field, I think, or type or whatever, a
Yeah,
standard field.
yeah.
Where you couldn't do the where is this used. I assume you,
It's a custom field. You're
okay,
correct.
your
Yeah,
actual
that's,
use case, you can do
I,
that.
I
Okay.
just don't want to like blurt out the custom name in front of 100 different people.
That's fine. That's fine. I just was checking that. So it seems to me that the first thing this is doing is giving you the excuse / reason to do the cleanup of all those reports that haven't been run in 6 months or a year.
That
You
was
get those
actually where it was
out of your
headed,
way.
Michael.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
because and that's why I asked if that folder was included, because like if you archive the stuff that hasn't been run in the last year, then you can see very easily like what needs maintenance.
And I was gonna offer a like hacky way to do it in a short, if you really can't do the like cleaning them up, could you, get up early on the weekend, delete a crap ton of reports that haven't been run, then go to the where is this used for only the ones that are not in the recycle bin, fix them, and then pull everything back out of the recycle bin as though you'd never deleted them in the first place?
Or you could even do it in like a sandbox where you don't have to recover them and you'd have
the
your short
IDs
list.
change, but yes.
Ooh, hers is better.
I don't think they would.
No? Are they
Well, it
same?
depends. Depends. Yeah, they shouldn't change because most IDs stay the same as they move across unless
Okay.
it's new data.
Would they know the run date though? Is the run date stored
Yeah.
on the?
Comes
In
across,
a
I
full
think.
copy, they are.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know about in a partial copy or if you data seeded.
Blah.
Yeah, it
Stuart.
definitely does in a partial copy because I was just doing something with that, and
Yeah.
the run dates are there.
Cool.
I mean, honestly, I kind of would err on we're making this change, fix your reports, just call it a day.
Stuart, this sounds like a fantastic project to start with, the report cleanup.
Well, also,
I'm-
is the new field the same field type and as the one that's being replaced?
Like text versus pick list, or
No, it's gonna be, oh, that's a good question.
like,
Because if it was, I was just wondering if you could just migrate the data from the field you want to get rid of to the new field, and then
Yeah, I think it's actually a related field to a different object.
yeah, the only thing I think glitch you run into, right, with that like field deprecation is if it is a filter, right? Like it's one thing for that column to like go poof, okay, well we drop it back in. But if it's a filter, then you start losing some other stuff. But man, you were just being like very like mysterious, Stuart. I like it.
No, these are great answers. Love them. That's something I can bring back to the team with.
I mean, I
So, I
feel
mean-
like this is a whole case for there needs to be better ways to manage reports and like all of this stuff. Like cleanup for reports is a nightmare.
Mhm.
Figuring all this out is a nightmare. Like it should just be a lot easier.
Agreed.
Mhm.
100% agree.
Report security, report sharing, report organization, folders, all that stuff is a real pain.
Thank goodness
lot of
Agent
people.
Force is gonna solve it all.
Okay, good. I'll just send this to Agent Force.
Well, that was going to be my first snarky response is like, did you did you ask your agent? But
Hey, business, we need Agent Force to just clean up some reports.
yeah, just for reports. So Stuart, we're gonna get back to you in just a second, but based on everyone's like non-questions, like, man, what are you doing? Y'all are just like ramping up and getting your roadmaps ready for the year. Like it's gonna be fantastic. Stuart, you've got 3 more
I
questions.
still have
It's
3 more
unbelievable.
questions. The next 2 are easy. The next 2 are just, I'm throwing out something there to say, if anyone else has gone through profile to permission set migration recently, that I can sit down. I don't want to bother everyone in the room on this problem, but we have deployed our permission set. So we've got all those user object field permissions that were in profiles. Now they're all in permission sets.
Mhm.
And now we're going back. I know this is like, why'd you do it this way, Stuart? I don't know, because that's the way I am. Now we're going back to the profiles and we're cleaning them. We're making them lean. We're making them minimum
Okay.
access. And partially we do that because we're going to pull the cover out of all the users. Users aren't going to know a difference. They still have all the access
Sure.
that they needed. But in doing this, we're running into hundreds and hundreds of errors when we deploy these minimum access profiles back to where they were. And
What
I'm wondering if anyone
kind of
else,
errors?
dumb things like, we're taking out all of the read, view, all that stuff from account and contact. But when we deploy those, we're getting errors back saying account must have read access to contact. And I'm like, well, that error doesn't make sense because we don't want that. That's actually the opposite. We don't want read access to the contact, nor do we want read access to the account. We've stripped all of that out and said false to everything. But when we deploy these files, that comes the system
There's
GitHub or the
there's a
dev-
dependency that says you have to have this. Linda, did you run into anything like that when we were doing this? When we did the things?
So
I'm
what tool are
confused
you
with
using to deploy?
we have a GitHub actions that we use
Okay.
for our DevOps processes.
So what we were seeing, and the only way to work around it that we were able to find, I'm not saying it's the only way to fix it, is that every one of those files is deployed independently, even though it's within a package, which means you might be changing account access before the contact access or contact. And so they don't like the two things playing against each other, even though it's one deployment action.
Oh,
We
it's like
ended up-
order of events.
Yeah, exactly. So we ended up having to replicate the profile and deploy it as a brand new profile as a
Okay.
trimmed down version. And then when you deploy that, because it's not converting an existing one to minimal access, you're creating a brand new one, and then you just reassign profile. Then now that's super easy when you've got like 20.
Yeah, I need to right.
million.
Okay. I can reassign the assignments, but I'd also have to, once we're all done, go in and change the name of it because I need the API name and the name of that profile. They're very specific. For a lot of reasons, I'm hard coded in a way because of our auto provisioning system. Our auto provisioning system looks for sales
Yep.
as the specific profile, and so if we have something called sales 2, which we can do, but at the end of it, we need to change back to sales because our provisioning system, all of our external systems look at that specific profile for who gets what, who sees what. It's
So
but I think that's a possible way to do it. Yes.
Okay. The other thing that we tried, but we just kind of gave up on, and you've got a significant number more than we had to deal with, is different tools will deploy, even though it's still using the metadata API. So like you might be able to deploy the perm change with a change set, and maybe it'll handle it the right way versus a GitHub deployment. That would be the other thing to try.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. I like that.
We almost always have problems when we deprecate from profiles with our GitHub. We use Salesforce DevOps, but it's using the GitHub to do the deployments. Same problem. We almost always have challenges where we have to either do multiple deployments working from the ground up, so make the contact changes, then make the account changes, or workarounds, or unfortunately, sometimes we even do hot fixes right in prod because we know the pattern. We just have to do it that way. But anyway.
Okay. I love that. That's great. I'll go into my this is the Stuart day of problems here.
Yeah, we love it.
And then the other one that's a quick one is if anyone else in the group has recently migrated to Hyperforce, I would love to sit down with you for 10 minutes and just talk about that experience.
How recent?
I don't know, last 9
Like-
months.
Okay, yeah, because we did ours like a year and a half ago.
Jana.
What does that mean? Like, because from my perspective, it was like pushed on our org. Like we didn't necessarily have to like migrate. It was just like something that was like there was a banner on the top of our org that was like, "Hey, you guys are on Hyperforce," and I was like, "Oh, cool, great." I did nothing, so it just, I literally don't know if I'm on Hyperforce.
Then you would not be the person I want to talk to. So
Fair enough.
Yeah,
and
there's like a prep guide, and
Yeah.
the biggest issue we had, I know some people have had like email issues, but the biggest issue we had was with a lot of our integrations got disconnected. Most reconnected after like 5 minutes, but a handful did not. That was a fun incident that I got to deal with while at a holiday party.
Oh,
yeah, those are definitely the things that I'm losing sleep over, is all the integrations that I need to perhaps pause or stop and then restart once we're done.
Yeah, like we paused a lot of our Informatica jobs. That was like the only real thing we did. Most of it was pretty seamless. Like if you have done like a instance switch in the past, like we didn't really have any hard-coded references. I think we had only one thing that came up in the like punch list that we had to change. And then there's that weird, if you have a call center, there was the weird,
Yeah.
if you have some kind of feature, which our infrastructure team said we didn't have. But we had minimal work. It was more once it moved, we had to like reconnect all our integrations and restart the jobs.
Did you have any problems at all with IP addresses, IP whitelists, domain name issues? Because we're moving from the Oracle hosted cloud into the public cloud, and we can't control IP addresses anymore. Whereas before, like we could say this specific IP address needs to be whitelisted, and in the future, that's out of our hands.
We did not.
David, do you
But-
have a comment to insert here? Or you
Yeah. We, being on the back end, I see this all the time. Basically, yeah, you got to remove anything that's login.salesforce.com. And your integrations, especially, that's probably, Mary, where you had problems. Everything has to be my domain specific. And domain allow list versus IP list. The login.salesforce.com can be delayed anywhere. Marketing says it's 5 minutes, but we've seen instances where it's taken up to 5 days for that to get re-indexed for the generic login to work. So that's the biggest issue, really, is just integrations. All the work you should have done for enhanced domains should carry over. So you shouldn't have any hard coded in any of your code or your integrations. And then just any of in your SSO or any of the login scripts for any API users or anything like that, make sure they're using the my domain versus the generic login. Those are really the biggest issues that we've seen.
And I'm not worried about our internal, because yeah, we've had enhanced domains for a long time now, so anything inside of Salesforce should be just fine. It's all of those like ghost integrations from the outside world that we don't know about that point to us, like our robotic processing team. For whatever reason, they had hard coded like actual deep links, and it's like, well,
yeah, anything that's
those are
hard
not
coded,
going to work.
Yeah, anything hard coded like an instance hard code, that's very common, where the developers hard coded, back in the day, NA123 or whatever. Anything like that will break. So everything has to be my domain specific. And then, yeah, your IP stuff is a domain allow list versus IP ranges.
Awesome. These are all things that I'm glad to hear. Like,
all right, Stuart, we're gonna hang up your other two questions for a minute.
Yes.
We've got Matt. Matt, do you want to walk through your question? Or are we good to move?
I would like to have everybody speak up to that, because it's great. It's a great question.
It is.
The whole question is just any ideas for community group speakers. If anyone's heard anyone good that they recommend, and just always trying to think of new ideas for the group.
Where are you? Where's your community group, Matt?
Kansas City.
You're in Kansas City, and so but you're looking for local would be awesome, but hybrid or
hybrid. We kind
virtual.
of alternate in person and virtual. And so we have a speaker for our next in person, and we're just
Mhm.
I had someone lined up for virtual and it kind of fell through. So just looking for, this isn't like April, so we still got time. But
Oh,
just
yeah.
looking for, who the next speaker might be.
You have a specific topic?
The only thing I said to Joy was not AI and Agent Force. We kind of already covered that topic, and it's kind of getting beaten to death. So
Linda,
So,
do you
yeah,
want to
so-
talk
sorry
about
to be
tech
vague,
debt?
but
So,
Sorry?
so I talk, yeah, Joy and I can talk about tech debt. I'm going to make her help me. But I mean, I have a series of presentations. Someone just wrote Melissa Hill Dees. She is awesome. She does a consequence scanning program that's really good.
And it
Even
works really good
virtual.
on the virtual also. But there is, so as a community group leader, you have a speaker library that you have access to. Linda has a number of things that are handy dandy in the library. But there's also the link that I put that Ian Gotts had shared with the greater community. And that's really where a lot of folks put in their submissions that maybe didn't make it. But there's a lot of folks that you can talk to. I have a library, but I mean, people hear me talk all the time. Michelle's got stuff she talks about. Sarah, I think you've got stuff you talk about. Mary's got stuff she can talk about. Michael Clodner, Squire, you've presented.
Yeah, I talk too much. Nobody
There,
wants to
so
hear me.
you've got Stuart, you've presented too, by the way. Anyway,
Michelle offered to.
yeah. So
that's
Think
I
about-
just I had the library pulled up and I just saw Michelle's name, so that's hilarious. So
there you go.
Michelle,
There you
can
go.
I reach out to you?
Anytime you want, Matt.
It's for
You're-
April and
you're-
virtual.
How far away are you from Kansas City?
I'm in Wentzville, basically.
So, all right.
So-
Well, you two have that conversation, and we're going to move on to the next question
Yeah.
because
Like
we
3
don't need
hours.
to
Reach
have
out.
all of Michelle's personal information recorded for YouTube.
I mean, that was a slightly truthful answer.
I mean, no. It's all
There's
it's all good.
there's
It's
ways to get a hold of Michelle. If
all
you
good.
scour the internet, you will find
all
her.
good.
Also,
all
real
good.
real quick, what's your social security number?
Yeah, right. And what's your password? Clayton, where'd
The
you go?
back of my
Clayton.
credit card is
No,
one.
stop this. Stop this. I don't have the editing skills to handle this. Knock it off. Clayton, where'd you go? Clayton. Whew. Talk to me, sir.
Okay, so I've got and I'll share my screen if that's okay.
Mm-hmm. As long as there's no information that's going to get us in trouble, like, Michelle's social security number. What the heck, Michelle? Jeez.
Host disabled screen sharing.
Oh my, Squire, what do we do?
I thought I signed and set it up. Sorry, one
Hold
second.
on. This
probably
is
just
not the
read
same
one.
meeting we always have.
Oh, that's true. I might have to do it specifically. One second here.
One moment, Clayton. We trust that you're going to be able to share.
Where are you, Clayton? There you are.
Mhm.
Yeah, you blocked me, I see.
No. If we had blocked you, you wouldn't be in the meeting.
All right, Clayton, I got to
Oh,
make you a
let's
co-host to
do
do
it,
this,
Joy.
so don't do anything that we wouldn't do, okay?
All right.
Hi, Joy. Oh.
All right. Can you see it?
We sure can.
Okay. So I've got a inside sales team, and I've used public groups to link them to sales reps. And basically within their profile, I've given them read, create, edit access so they can go in and adjust accounts as needed. So they're wanting to be able to go in and update tasks. And when I went into tasks, I don't have the permissions like I did on the account object. Do you follow what I'm saying?
That makes sense because those
Yep.
live at the activity object.
Okay. And so I did go back. Go ahead.
Tasks and events are essentially record types of activity, except when they're not.
Yep.
Okay. And then so I didn't see activity as an object setting within this profile. Does that mean I haven't given them access to
Like,
activity?
like
Yeah.
read access, because it's usually controlled by parent. So it depends on the record it's assigned to. So if it were assigned to an account, say, it would inherit the user's permissions on that account. So like if you couldn't see the account, you couldn't see the activity.
Yeah, I mean, is it because like you can't really, well, I suppose you can, but like the idea here, I think, Clayton, is there's two pieces, right? So it's not about what you can do to an activity, it's whether you can see it. That's your starting point, right? And then once you can
Yes.
see it, then you have the control by parent that Mary was describing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is
But-
this for a person? Because I'm doing this for a integration user, and I had to make sure it had the system permissions, access activities, and edit tasks.
Yep.
That stumped me the other day.
Okay. So in
'Cause-
other words, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was going to add on, but go ahead.
Okay. So if I've got them in a public group and they should be able to pull up one of these people, I probably was speaking when I should have been listening.
That's
Uh,
okay. So the
so-
public group is being used to do do sharing, is what you're saying, right?
Right.
So the sharing rule for activity, what does that look like?
That one, I'm not sure how to answer.
Okay. So if you go to sharing rules,
Okay.
Can you
And-
create sharing rules on activities?
I thought it had to do with whether you could read write, but it wasn't, because there's not actually ownership, it's assignment, right?
Yeah,
I'm-
because I don't.
I'm
think
pretty
you-
sure it's controlled by parent only,
Yeah,
and it's based on the role hierarchy.
But
Yeah.
that's just access to it, not CRUD.
No, not
access.
just access to it, the ability to edit
yeah.
Clayton,
is
you can,
tied to whether you're above that person in the hierarchy or not.
under the quick find in the top left, if you type in sharing settings, that's how you can see the OWD of your org. And so that's the area where, what they're talking about is, if you look for like any
Activity.
object in here has got its own
Yeah.
sharing setting.
So,
Activity is right there, and it's private.
yeah, it's underneath user there.
Ah,
Private.
So unless you're assigned to it, you can't modify it. You can't even see it, right?
Right.
now can I go in and grant access then? Ah, yeah, I've seen this screen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so technically you
this-
could change the level of access there.
But this is not something to willy-nilly set, Clayton.
Yeah, it's higher up on the list. It's like right above calendar, but I think it's only going to give you the option to control by parent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's controlled by parents. So and I pasted the help article link in there about editing tasks and events of coworkers. You have to be related via the role hierarchy.
Okay.
So backing through that, just to make sure that it's all, because we're saying a lot of things. So the access to the activity is controlled by the parent, meaning the who or the what ID it's related to, right?
Mhm.
So if you don't have that set, you can't even see that activity unless it's set to controlled by parent. Then you have to say, okay, now if I can see the parent, say the account, the contact, whatever, the rights that I have to that account, does that trickle down to the task then? So like, do I have CRUD on the task if I have CRUD on the activity, or is it still protected? I don't know that answer.
I feel
think
like it's
based
still
on,
protected.
I think, Linda, the article you pasted, I think based on sharing settings,
Yeah.
you would be able to edit the task if you're able to edit the account. That's how I read the
Plus
second
one.
paragraph of what you posted.
So then it would be just adjust this based on control by parent.
Correct.
But as I think that Squire said, if that's what you really want, if there's some reason why you've set activity to private, then be careful. Like write down maybe document exactly what's going on here before you change.
No willy-nilly, right?
Right.
And tested in a sandbox, a bunch of permutations.
That
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought is, yeah, this is probably something to do in the sandbox. And my
What-
guess is if we did that, they might be able to see anything on those accounts under them.
Well, I mean, I would even go as far as like, there's nothing in my experience. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. Some of the most cataclysmic impacts to an org has been when someone turns something from private to public, because it changes reports, it changes views, it changes access, it changes, like someone goes, oh, I don't care about these activities, and they start deleting them because they don't realize that they're not just seeing their ones that they owned, and now they see everybody's. Like, this one could really cause you some headaches, so test the heck out of it.
Okay.
What problem are you, I may have missed it at the beginning. What problem are you trying to solve overall? I guess, like, what's the business problem?
So we put a task on the sales reps. Well, on some joined accounts, the inside sales rep is acting on behalf of the sales rep, and they're wanting to go in and complete a task that has been assigned to the sales rep.
Okay.
That makes sense to me, and I can understand why setting it to control by parent might be the way to go here. But in the world where it wasn't, is there a reason the sales rep didn't reassign that task to the inside sales rep? Who would then be able to complete it
Or a
for
queue.
themselves? Or a queue, right? Like, why is the subordinate doing it if the whatever manager doesn't know?
Yeah, in this particular case, I had two examples. One was person had left the company and still had a task assigned to them, which, you know, as the administrator, I can change that real easy. But the other one was, it's just the sales reps knew they got too many tasks. And so the inside sales rep was trying to do it for them, but they couldn't update it because it was assigned to the sales rep. Make sense? Okay.
Michael
Feel like there's
Plotner's
a
like
lot of
shaking his
people
head.
who are they, is it stunned silence? Is it paranoia? Is it, are people freaking out? Like, everything you said makes sense, except that there's a lot of like, but then what?
It's kind of like a delegated.
I definitely think
delegated
we're all
access.
feeling a little bit of like caution around this.
Yeah, I would just make sure you document and test the crap out of it like everyone else is saying.
Sandbox, sandbox, sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the data access impact, if people don't know how terrible things can go awry if they don't know what they're talking about. Like, there's a change management piece to this once you turn it on, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Like, all right. I think you may have gotten the gold star for Stump the People today. So we have Martin teed up. Martin's got an MPSP question. Do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself? Oh, you already did. Hi, Martin. I missed
Hello.
you. I haven't seen you.
Yes, it's been a while. MPSP. So we are currently set up with our AU allocations being set at the opportunity level. Based on the campaign that is selected on that opportunity. Campaign's a required field for all opportunities. And we're doing the GAU allocation at the campaign. And that all works fine. But the business, the finance has come back and said, we would like to have payment level allocations in addition to opportunity level allocations, which I'm looking for support on. Couldn't find documentation, but I did find that you can flip this little switch in settings and say payment level allocations. And I just don't know whether to trust it or not. That's about it. That's as far as I've gone.
I
Yeah,
could hear everything.
this is David. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Michael's figured this out and other clients of his, but on my pro bonos, I would never touch the settings area on the GAUs. If I wanted to go into, I wanted that granularity of payment, I'd probably just set up a flow and do it that way, through flow. I mean, you're already doing it right through the campaign, setting the GAU. If you wanted another layer, I would just do a flow, but Michael's probably figured out a different way of doing it.
Very few of my clients use GAUs. I'm going to turn it to Sarah.
Oh,
Yeah. Hi. In our org, I set up, this is, again, I would not necessarily recommend this as a best practice, but I created a custom junction object between GAUs and payments that basically works like an allocation, but I have complete control over it. So, and then I use flows to create those assignments, is what I call them, a GAU assignment. And I have a mapping and custom metadata so that it automatically maps based on the activity on the opportunity. It's convoluted and it's probably like overbuilt and overkill, but it works for us and it gives finance what they want in terms of this is where to put this information in QuickBooks. That's all they're looking for. So for us,
And
I don't know
it's,
if
and it's super flexible for you,
yeah, it's so
which
flexible.
is the best part of that.
Yeah. So it's basically just saying, hey, associate this payment with this GAU. End of story. That's its whole purpose. But it's just a really simple little junction object.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah, but the setting, the GAU portion in the MPSP settings, you know, that's org wide, and the second piece of that check, the second checkbox, it's I pulled up my MPSP worker, like the the default GAU. I mean, you never want to touch that thing. So
We are using that default GAU already, so I'm not worried
okay.
about that. But yeah, I just didn't know if I wanted to check that box and if it really worked. So
Yeah, I've never done that in any of my pro bonos.
yeah, thanks. And
You gotta remember,
Sarah,
it's
I might end
not-
up going your
not-
direction.
Yeah, it's not an accounting platform, no matter what
Yeah.
finance
No.
it be.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I ended up going custom after trying that and it not working or just deciding to skip it altogether. But it's worked going outside of like I wouldn't trust it personally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's meant to work on the payment level. So
Oh yeah, it was built long ago.
Yeah. Thank you much.
There is that
Clayton
popular,
knows.
it's that
Martin,
popular
Stuart,
song. I'm coming back to you. Sorry.
Stuart, it's all coming back to me now. You have 14 minutes.
Good. There's that song, just push that button, right? That's on that
What?
commercial. So, well, that came out of David said he would never push that button, and now all of a sudden now I'm thinking that retro song.
Minute
is,
Easy button.
Just push that button. Just push
What?
that button.
Stuart.
Stu loves house music, man. I mean, he's
Yeah, it's all happening. Okay, so here's the next thing, and I might have to actually share the screen at some point. So cue me up.
Oh, dear.
You got
it.
The lords that are in control here. Has anyone seen the message concurrent request limited exceeded in Salesforce? It's very old looking. It looks like something that came
Is it
before
from
even
Classic?
Classic. No, it's before Classic. It's that
Ooh.
Aloha or whatever it is.
Aloha, yes.
The message says, we limit the number of long running requests that are processed at the same time by an organization. And then it goes on to say something about, I'll find it. It's a very scary set of words. Your request has been denied. Denial of service attack. It said, because of denial of service attacks, your request has been denied and this limit has been exceeded. So the question is, what do you check next? And what you check next is share.
It sounds
my
like a
screen.
crossword puzzle. Like, Stuart, what?
What you check next is this right here. So you go out to your logs and you look for concurrent running, long running Apex limit event types, because that's what this is talking about. You get 10 long running Apex calls at any time.
What
And if
is
you
your org
exceed
doing?
if you exceed that 10, then you have problems. And so this article tells you exactly what to do. For event monitoring, see this Trailhead event monitoring module, in which I went to, and here it is in this tab. And this one talks about querying event logs, and the first thing it says is use the ELF, use the Salesforce event log file browser. However, this doesn't exist. So you can't go to setup quick find and find event log file browser. And if you did find the link for it, it would point you to a Heroku app.
Wait. I found that link.
You're able to connect to it?
Oh, well, I don't know, but the link is there. I thought you were saying it's not even in QuickFind.
Oh, I couldn't find. Well, okay.
I have event log file browser.
Yeah, I have
in
it.
my setup.
And it's like a LWC. It seems fancy.
Did they change it? Well, then I'm wrong and you're right.
No, it's under security, under event monitoring. I typed the word event.
Okay.
It looks just like that Trailhead screenshot.
Really?
I mean, yes, except I don't have any event logs.
Killing me. People are killing me. Okay, that's
It's
great.
because you're not on Hyperforce yet, right?
Me?
I'm not.
No, it's been there forever. It's too hot.
It's been
My
there
horn's
forever.
got nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna go back and say, push that button, right? Push that button.
In the quick find box, I typed the word event.
Mm-hmm.
Space log. Space file. Space browser.
Okay. Well, you're.
There it is.
What are you doing, John?
I'm typing letters.
That is why I like.
I'm really good at typing.
That's why I like coming into this meeting, because you're all 10 times smarter than I am, and this is just another piece of proof. Thank you.
Unless
No,
it doesn't
I mean-
work for you, in which case we have to support you. Does it work now?
Yeah, like go to your setup and type, find it.
Okay, hold on.
Also, I feel like I was just telling my dog to go find treats. Like, what the heck, Stuart? What?
It only
what's going
shows
on?
up in Lightning, not in Classic.
Are you in Classic, Stuart?
I'm in Aloha, I thought.
No, you said the error message looked like Aloha. Are we going to Hawaii this week? That'd be great.
There it
back.
is.
Mm.
Wow.
Did you find it?
Hey, we
You
fixed
are-
it for him.
You fixed it. Okay.
Virtual high fives all the way around.
MVP office hours wins again. You solved my problem. Thank you.
Hey, that's why we're here.
But that
What's
that
the
error
question
message.
number 4? You have 9 minutes, Stuart.
But that error message does need to be fixed, because it talks about a denial of service attack. And so then that puts up everyone's alert saying, is Salesforce down? No, Salesforce is not down. You just have a bad Apex job that's taking too much time. So that's all I got to say about that.
Well, you had question number 4. I'm waiting.
No, that's it. I got
That was
my 4
4
questions in.
Then you only had
Yeah.
3. What was the 4th one?
Yeah,
This song?
I don't know.
Hyperforce, perm to profile to perm, and reports. Were the
Oh,
3
man.
prior.
Yeah.
I really missed you guys last time.
Yeah, it's been a
But,
while.
you know,
since
we were
saw you
busy
on
recovering
visits.
from the holidays. So, and no other questions. Everyone else is ready. The roadmap is looking amazing. You're just like,
So I'm
geared
set up
for
to migrate
all
to
the time.
Hyperforce on February 16th. I just got the notice yesterday, and I'm also going through the little Hyperforce assistance thing. And I'm wondering, does anyone know if anything has to happen if you're integrated with QuoteWorks?
Just
No
everything
idea.
we said earlier.
Yeah, like make sure it reconnects, but like the only real thing was for like phone providers. There's like, I can't remember, there's like a 3-letter acronym for you could have a
Yeah,
certain
it's an old
service that
call
won't
center.
work.
Yeah, it's an old
Yeah.
call
We
center
don't
that
have a
hardly
call
gets
center,
done.
so I'm not concerned about that. But the weird thing is all my sandboxes, they migrate on the same day. So I don't actually have the capability of testing stuff in a sandbox because they're all migrating the same day.
Well, I thought there was there a window or a setting that you could convert it in Sandbox? I thought there was something early on where you'd be like, what if I was on Hyperforce?
Yeah, if you open up a case, so you've already got your data signed, if you can open up a case with support and ask them for I'm not sure what you asked, for a Hyperforce ready sandbox or something like that, so you can test out your integrations, that might be helpful.
I think it was it in the Hyperforce documentation, like all those kind of staged checkboxes that they put in the helper. Was that where that list was? So like on the left-hand side, it was like
I
Hyperforce
think there's
Assistant.
something in Hyperforce Assistant when you go through it in a sandbox. And I think it's under, is it just clicking the start preparing link under the learn tab? Oh no, there's verify. Okay, so there's on the prepare tab for your Hyperforce Assistant, there's several things that you should be able to go through, and I would suggest if you have any problems, like, yeah, reach out to their support.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it was the DNS settings was the other thing that was being mentioned, I think.
The assistant was pretty good. I mean, it's written in a way that assumes that you know exactly what they're talking about, but it covers everything. So if you haven't had a chance to go through it, Adriana, I definitely would.
All right, thank you.
Hyperforce. That was a sneaky one this week. I wasn't expecting that, Stu.
Always count on Stu.
I mean, I wasn't expecting Hyperforce at all today. I mean, everyone's talking about AI, but no one's got it in their org yet. So all the cool stuff. Anything else, friends? Did anyone get any puppies? Any kittens?
I did. I got a new puppy.
Show me.
Hold
Michelle,
on.
Allison,
Oh, you ready? He's coming for us.
What is puppy's name?
Puppy's name is Oliver.
Hi, Oliver. How old is Oliver?
Oliver is 5.
Hi, Oliver.
He's a
Very
Catahoula Rottweiler German Shepherd mutt mix.
Hey, that is
That's a mouthful.
amazing.
It is,
That is
Oliver.
that is a
Look at
that is-
mommy.
that is hello. I like it. Michelle ran away. Did she get a kitten?
Did.
This one's all of 75 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Michelle
So
got
sweet.
Michelle got a new kitten through the cat distribution center system around Halloween. Maybe that's what she's getting.
No, she got a kitten. She has an orange cat. Where you? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
that
you're crazy.
came to her through the cat distribution system.
This is Jackie Lantern.
Hello, Jackie Lantern. I love it.
She is now 4
Oh.
months old, and she is much, much bigger than she was when she first got here, because when she first got here, she was this size.
And she's still little, but very sweet.
She is still very little.
Very sweet. Very sweet. See, look what happens. You show up to MVP office hours and you get all the snuggle things. Taco said hi, but he was being a little bit of a he was being a little
He's being a
needy,
pill.
but someone else here will handle him.
Oh, Michelle.
So sweet. So sweet. All right, friends. So February 7th is our next meeting. Our bit.ly link will work again. Sorry about any confusion from last go round. You know, I guess we didn't socialize our break very well. Sorry.
That's on us.
Oh yeah, Squire and I, we're like, oh, we just need to recover from December.
I think the other thing we were going to talk about, but we didn't talk about, so I want to just throw out there is that we have a call to action in 2025 to help revitalize the attendance. Not that we don't love all of you, but there's more people that need our help. So we're asking everyone to remind anyone they work with or anyone they're connected with, or when you go to a user group meeting, remind everyone we're out here and we're here to help, and let's grow the community. And so that's our
Bring a
24
friend.
initiative. Yeah.
One of the things I think that you'll find that's different than posting on the community questions or posting in, no offense, anyone, to like Slack, like, is this back and forth, right? And we're able to like have the interaction, have the deeper questions. And I mean, you understand my faces better when I'm like making that face. I'm like, what? But y'all understand. So bring the friends, bring the people. If you want to talk stuff out, let us know. And if you've got ideas that you want to like talk through as far as like speaker presentations, you know, we'd love to hear about them here too. So don't be shy. We're really excited to support you. With that,
Are we done? I had a question.
what, Allison, was it in the chat?
I sent it to you. I messaged it right to you.
What was the question?
So
Oh,
go ahead.
yes.
I started a consulting business as of January 1. It's a data cleaning service that I'm working with businesses and nonprofits. And I'm wondering if anybody has a good consulting tracking app for clients and contacts that they use that they love.
when I was independent consulting, I literally built this out in a dev org, and I just built it out as I went. And I track my time, I track my clients, I track my projects. Did it all there. However, like for billing purposes, you're going to make sure you are able to track things as concisely as possible, because you know when you have billing software, you know it's different. But
Allison, talk to Bill Powell.
Huh?
Talk to Bill Powell.
Bill Powell. Okay.
There you
I worked with him on some flows that he was building when he was independent, and I think he's back independent again. So
okay.
Be a good person to pick his brain and see if he's got the bandwidth to help.
Thank you, Miss Michelle. And Joy, I was going to ask if you have any tips or tricks or can share the DevOrg ideas with me.
we can connect offline for sure. But like I abandoned independent consulting because the bookkeeping side of it was not for me.
Yay. And it's Donuts, DONUTS.
Oh, you know I can't.
Yeah. It's the New York, it's the Northeastern, because I love data and I love donuts. So it's Data and Donuts.
All right. And then Pat Harris said timesheet.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Man, y'all are making me hungry. I haven't had a donut in a minute. With that, it is 2:00 though. So we're
That's
so
only
glad
12.
to
What
see
are you talking about?
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever time zone you're in, it is time to go. So I'll see y'all later, everybody. Bye. All the hearts, all the love, but see you later. Happy
Bye, all.
Friday.
Bye.
Happy Friday. We probably stopped the recording, right?
Ryan.